Back, and it's going to be a beautiful day. How long the warm weather is going to last and when our next cold front moves in.
Revising math standards. Lawmakers are gathering, and how your child does math is on the agenda. The goal of these changes and what they'll focus on.
Let's play ball tonight. The Durham Bulls home opener at the DBAP. What you need to know if you're heading to the park.
Yes, and it's an exciting day. Your Tuesday morning starting off just right here with WRAL. We thank you for joining us. I'm Laura Levine in for Renee Chu.
And I'm Chris Lovingood. You know, we can't talk about the DBAP.
Yeah.
Other than not showing the park right there, the ballpark behind meteorologist Chris Michaels. It's going to be such a hype time, and you're going to be there tonight.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to it. Going to be sitting in the outfield. Hope to catch a home run ball, especially with how warm things are going to be. I'm thinking the ball's going to be flying out there. But yeah, live look at the DBAP, and things are ready to go. First pitch temperatures will be in the mid to upper 70s this evening. Perfect weather, low humidity, and just a little bit of a breeze under a partly cloudy sky. Meanwhile, out the door this morning, temperatures all on the same playing field, no pun intended. 57 to 59 degrees as you're stepping outside, so you may not even need a jacket. In fact, if you're walking the dog, it's going to feel really good. Up until 9 a.m., temperatures near 60. By 11 a.m., we're in the low 70s, and temperatures today make it into the 80s. We're going to be saying that a lot this week. Meanwhile, rain chances are fairly low. That's up until Easter Sunday, at which point we're tracking a cold front that brings along some changes during and after the holiday weekend. I'll break down those changes for you as you plan ahead for Easter Sunday coming up.
Okay, a little switch up. We'll be watching for that, Chris. All right, traffic-wise, we're taking a look right here at I-87 at Lizard Lake Road, and we're seeing a lot more cars in this 6 o'clock hour as people are beginning their Tuesday morning commutes. No significant travel issues, though. There was, of course, that tractor-trailer fire we've been talking about this morning on I-540, but that is set to be cleared around 6:45. We'll let you know when that actually happens. But as you are beginning your morning commute, keep us tuned in all morning long. We will let you know about any possible slowdowns. 101.5 HD3.
And we're also staying on top of this breaking news situation on the roads. A tractor trailer caught fire this morning, shutting down lanes on Highway 540 on the Triangle Expressway. This happened in westbound near Benson Road in Wake County. Highway Patrol says the fire was caused by a popped tire. No one was hurt. DOT is reporting that 3 of the 4 lanes are now open, but crews are still on the scene trying to get the truck towed away. This morning, police are now searching for a gunman who put 3 people in the hospital in Clinton. The shooting happened yesterday afternoon. Neighbors say they heard 5 shots total, and the victims were on the porch of a unit in the Eastover Terrace community. Clinton police say that the motive in the shooting is still under investigation. No arrests have been made. The agency has not released the names of the victims.
This morning, a Goldsboro fugitive is in custody after months on the run, and he's now facing at least 9 federal weapons charges. Let me show you his picture right here. This is 34-year-old Daktari Harris, according to Goldsboro police. They say he was charged with possession of a firearm by a felon last year in January. Then he was released on bond. And months later, in June, a federal indictment was issued against him. However, investigators couldn't find him until yesterday morning. Goldsboro police say that after a brief standoff, Harris was taken into custody in Rayford, and investigators say they also found this right here on your screen, these weapons here. Harris now faces an additional, again, 9 weapon charges.
Parents, state lawmakers will spend today talking about revisiting and revising math standards for your students. This will involve hearing proposed changes from the state's Department of Public Instruction. So let's bring in WRAL's Ali Calabar. She's live outside the state legislative building for this story. Ali, these changes are meant to keep students interested in math.
Yeah, Laura, that's the goal, and the changes would also focus on real-world application. Now, state education leaders are going to give lawmakers a progress report on changes to math standards. Leaders are proposing changes that emphasize this real-world application of the subject, and this is actually part of a national movement to revise its standards. Leaders are saying students are uninterested and disconnected from math, and that's why they're coming up with some of these adjustments. Now, the Education Oversight Committee, it is at 10 a.m. In the next 30 minutes, we're going to give you a look at how lawmakers are also expected to talk about cell phone use in schools as well today. Reporting live in Raleigh, Ali Calabar, WRAL News.
Many people are worried about their Duke Energy power bills potentially going up. You see, yesterday, the State Utilities Commission held its first of several public hearings regarding the proposed rate hikes. It was standing room only at last night's meeting. Duke Energy is proposing an 18% increase in rates, and that would result in customers paying around $30 more a month by 2028. More than 70,000 people have signed a petition calling for an independent audit of Duke Energy's billing practices. WRAL spoke to several Duke Energy customers who say the costs would force customers into an uncomfortable position.
They're going to be determining whether to buy gas to get to work, food, medicine. And for people who take care of other people, run errands, handle their bills, it's going to be a lot of stress because people are really struggling out here.
And this is the first of several opportunities the public will have to give feedback. The next public hearing is scheduled for April. You can visit WRAL.com to learn more about the proposal. Starting tomorrow, people in Rocky Mount, they will pay more for their utilities. The Rocky Mount City Council passed a motion to raise electric, gas, sewer, and water rates by about 15%. It's part of the city's plan to dig itself out of a massive financial crisis. The city manager told WRAL the increase may not be permanent, though.
Happening today, NC State's Board of Trustees will hold an emergency meeting to approve the hiring of a new men's basketball coach. WRAL sources say former player Justin Gainey is coming back to lead the Pack. Not only did Gainey play for the Pack from 1996 to 2000, but he's also from North Carolina. That Board of Trustees meeting is slated for 3 p.m. The athletics department is planning to introduce its next coach tomorrow afternoon, pending board approval. So as NC State prepares to hire its next coach, former coach Will Wade has officially been welcomed back to the LSU Tigers. Wade was introduced at a press conference yesterday. He was asked about the timeline of him getting hired, and he says LSU first contacted him about the job last Wednesday, a day before he was hired. Wade also addressed criticisms about a perception that he's a villain in the sports world and that he got hired in a shady manner.
The people who need to know. And look, everybody has to, when there's a situation like this, everybody has to cover has to cover. Let's put it that way. And so I'm at peace with how I left. I'm at peace with what we did. And, look, they're pretty mad for a coach they didn't think was very good.
Oh, the shade. So Wade also said that he heard about NC State closing in on hiring Justin Gainey, and he wished the Wolfpack all the best. You can follow all of these coaching developments from UNC to NC State and an in-depth analysis in between. That's all on the WRAL YouTube page. Just search NC State or UNC.
Oh, the next time NC State and LSU face each other. Should be interesting. Well, today is opening day for the Durham Bulls, and the team is bringing in the baseball season with lots of new and exciting things. Let's bring in WRAL's Kelsey Coffey. She's live at the DBAP this morning. Kelsey, fans have so much to look forward to tonight.
Yes, Chris, new food, new merch, and new activities here at the DBAP to kick off baseball season with the Bulls. Hundreds of fans are expected to come here to the ballpark tonight for opening day. If you're headed to the park tonight, here's a traffic alert to tell you about. Fans should take the Duke Street exit if they're traveling north on the Durham Freeway. For South Deck parking, take the first right on Yancey Street and then right on Willard Street. For North Deck parking, take the second right on Jackson Street. The Bulls are going head-to-head against the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. The series starts tonight with an action-packed week ahead, full of fun for your entire family.
If the youngster in your family is excited about the baseball, grab a scorecard at guest services and some information on the stats on the board to keep them kind of interested. We've also got Woolly World Playground for when they're needing to go take a break from baseball.
And of course, this is always a fun thing for you to do with the kiddos. Woolly Bull will always be in the team store at some point during the night. So make sure that you go down there and take a picture with him. First pitch starts tonight at 6:45. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Durham.
We do have an update from overnight in the war on Iran. The Iranian Red Crescent Society shared a video this morning, and they say rescue efforts are being made at damaged apartments and buildings in Iran. This was after airstrikes hit. Now, despite these attacks, the Trump administration insists talks are happening with Iran's leadership, but no word on who they're speaking with. Plus, Iran's leadership, they're denying these talks.
Meanwhile, global jet fuel prices, Chris, have more than doubled since the war in Iran began. The International Air Transport Association's jet fuel price monitor shows the worldwide average cost is now at $4.65 a gallon. That's more than 100% above last month's prices. Airlines have increased their prices through surcharges and by reviewing flight routes as a result.
And here in the WRAL Live Center, the U.S. has allowed for a major oil shipment to arrive in Cuba, potentially bringing some relief to an ongoing energy crisis there. This was a Russian fuel tanker that arrived, bringing about 100,000 tons of crude to the country. This ends a 3-month gap in fuel deliveries. The U.S. allowed the shipment amid a blockade that was meant to put economic pressure on the communist nation.
Now, as for gas prices, the national average is $4.02 per gallon. Here in North Carolina, that average is around $3.84, and in Raleigh, you'll pay $3.89, though I did pass at least 2 gas stations this morning at $3.99. Over in Durham, $3.92. And you can find the cheapest gas prices wherever you are with the WRAL Fuel app. Just go to our website, WRAL.com, and search fuel. Well, today, NASA will be giving pre-launch updates as it counts down to tomorrow's Artemis II mission blastoff. 4 astronauts are part of that trip around the moon, including NC State graduate Christina Cook. Cook will be the first woman to travel beyond low Earth orbit and fly to the moon. Today's press conference will be at 1 o'clock this afternoon.
Your time now, 6:10. Durham school leader fired. This is the 3rd administrator the district has let go after a student was harmed in 2024. The charges against her and how the school system is responding.
Plus, burn ban in effect. The Forest Service has banned all open air burning. How Wake County first responders are preparing to address that risk.
We need the rain, and some of us would like a little bit of a cool down. It's been the 4th warmest start to March on record, but we're getting quite the opposite. I'll show you why we see a long stretch of 80s and when we see some beneficial rain coming up in the forecast in a few minutes.
All right, sounds good, Chris. Well, here's a look at your winning Powerball numbers, just in case you missed them. 7, 11, 31, 41, 57, the Powerball's 20, and the Power Play multipliers, too.
6:14, a happy Tuesday. Raleigh and Durham at 58. So is Rocky Mount and Wilson, Goldsboro, Siler City and Henderson checking in at 55 degrees. Nice, comfortable start to the morning in Sanford with a pair in Nichols as well. Southern Pines, Fayetteville, Irwin and Clinton at 57. Really comfortable out there, and temperatures continue to climb. By 10 a.m., mid-60s. By 12 p.m., we're in the mid-70s, and highs today reaching the low 80s, adding on to the warmth that we've seen in recent days. And this is something that we'll continue to see unfolding throughout the rest of the week. This is a pattern that's pretty typical of summertime, where you've got high pressure near Bermuda, clockwise flow around it, helping to pump in the warmth and block some storm systems from getting in here. That changes around Easter Sunday. I'll help you make plans for the holiday coming up in just a few minutes.
Information people need to know about. Thank you, Chris. Traffic-wise, we're taking a look at I-85 at Duke Street. You see right here in US 501. And you'll see traffic's looking pretty good for the most part. No significant backups or anything like that. But should the potential for maybe a crash that happens or maybe slowdowns as people are beginning their morning commute this Tuesday morning slow you down, keep us tuned in on the radio during your morning commute. 101.5 HD3.
New video this morning shows the scary moments before a plane was forced to turn around in Brazil. You can see flames coming from one of the engines on this Delta flight that was headed for Atlanta. This happened Sunday. The plane returned to the airport in Sao Paulo. It is still unclear what caused the fire.
Parts of McDowell Street will be closed starting this week in Raleigh, and this is because teams are performing repairs to the Raleigh Convention Center. This is after that fire from months ago. A crane will be set up tomorrow to load new cooling equipment onto the rooftop, and the closure is expected to last about a week's time. A 3rd Durham school administrator has been fired after a child with autism was found tied to a chair. A school system spokesperson confirmed Deputy Superintendent Tanya Giovanni is no longer employed by the district. In February, charges were filed against her, along with Tanya Wright, the principal of Eno Valley Elementary, and Aisha Hunter, the senior executive director of employee relations. And this all stems from an incident at Eno Valley in 2024. Police say an instructional assistant tied up a 6-year-old student with autism using rope. You can read more on that story at WRAL.com.
Tomorrow, part of Pullen Park will be back open. Tomorrow, amusement rides, attractions, playgrounds, and amenities will reopen while crews work on the Lake Howell Shoreline Improvement Project. Lake Howell will be closed during this time.
Opening day for the Wilson Warbirds against the Hill City Howlers has officially sold out. The team welcomed fans into the stadium this weekend after the official ribbon cutting ceremony. Opening day is April 14th, and those tickets are gone, but there are other great games in the opening homestand. Thursday, April 16th, it is Hard Hat Heroes Night, and the Warbirds moved to Wilson after the Carolina Mudcats left Zebulon.
The State Forestry Service is now warning about widespread brush fires as a burn ban remains in effect across the state. Several fires are burning throughout western North Carolina, in fact, fueled in part by debris from Tropical Storm Helene. So elsewhere, crews battled fires in Hoke and Robeson counties in recent days. Wake County first responders are preparing specialized equipment to address the fire risk. They're using brush trucks to reach off-road hotspots.
It does get difficult hiking through the woods, thick vegetation, and all your gear, having to move around the hand lines. That's when the brush trucks come in handy. We're able to get a lot closer to where the fire is burning, and the hose on it's a lot smaller than our typical hose on our fire engines to get those fires put out.
Crews say the ongoing drought could make conditions worse. The Forest Service has banned all open-air burning and canceled all statewide burn permits until further notice.
And Chris, I'm not going to lie. Every time we keep talking about, the dry conditions, the drought conditions, I always go, wait, still? And it's like, yes, this has been a trend for the last several months.
Yeah, it's been months in the making. 6 of the last 7 months have featured below average rainfall, and we're talking by like 1 to 2 inches below average per month. So yeah, now since September, that period of September 1st through the end of March, been 10.4 inches below normal. We need rain, and we need a decent amount. Now, we may get a few showers and storms heading into tomorrow, but they're going to be very limited, and it's not going to be a drought buster. So here's midday tomorrow, just to give you a glimpse of what we're looking at really the rest of the week. This is going to be a trend that we see. After 4 p.m. or so, maybe a few stray showers and storms, our coverage at about 20% or so. And then as we go beyond sunset, you lose the warmth of the day, and you lose that already very limited chance. I see a similar situation unfolding Thursday and again on Friday and again on Saturday, to be quite honest with you. By Easter Sunday, that's when an actual cold front comes through. In the air along these fronts, it rises. And when it rises, it condenses. You get clouds, you get a better chance of precipitation. So out ahead of that, we're going to be nice and warm at southerly breeze, pushing our temperatures into the 80s. But this front triggers some showers and storms later in the day, Easter Sunday. As far as the exact timing, that's what we're going to figure out over the next few days. But for right now, looks like more geared toward the evening. Mostly cloudy sky right now over Anger. We'll poke through those clouds gradually as we go throughout the morning. 61 at 9 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock. We're at 71 degrees with highs today between about 80 and 83. By tomorrow, however, that southerly breeze continues to push in some warmer air, and our highs will be between about 84 and 86. That's one way to start out the month of April, feeling more like June. Overnight lows for the next several nights will be in the lower 60s. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Easter Sunday, high temperatures 83 to 85. Notice our storm chances pretty limited to about 20 to 30% up until Easter Sunday morning. We'll bring them up a little bit Sunday evening, and then temperatures come down. Nice cool start to early next week, guys.
All right, thanks for tracking that for us, Chris. Traffic-wise, I-440 at New Bern Avenue. It is moving pretty okay. I almost said buzzing, but not quite just yet at 6:20 this morning. People are waking up, beginning their Tuesday morning commutes, and we're not seeing any significant travel hindrances out there right now, though we are talking about on I-540 that tractor-trailer situation, which is projected to clear up, around 20 minutes from now. We'll let you know if that changes. Keep us tuned in on the radio all morning long, 101.5 HD3.
The cost of speeding. The governor's highway safety program Speed a Little, Lose a Lot campaign is now underway, while law enforcement agencies say the crackdown will help save lives.
Plus, March savings. If you're looking for cleaner air, maybe doing some spring cleaning, don't worry. 5 on your sides, Keely Arthur will show you the best deals for this month. The Speed a Little, Lose a Lot campaign from the governor's highway safety program, it's happening right now. Basically, over the next week, law enforcement will have increased patrols across the state. And the goal is to remind drivers speeding carries serious and often deadly consequences. NCDOT data shows 335 people were killed in speed-involved crashes last year.
Every day, our troopers work crashes that could have been prevented. and too often those crashes result in serious injuries or the loss of life. Speeding is not just a traffic violation, it's a very dangerous choice.
This campaign runs through this Sunday.
This What's Trending report is sponsored by Call Dad AC and Heating.
Paradise Season 2 has come to a close, and Celine Dion in Paris.
All right, let's talk about those stories this morning and what's trending.
So excited. Paradise, okay. Xavier Collins, played by Sterling K. Brown, has some big decisions to make after the end of the Season 2 finale of Paradise last night. The drama by Dan Fogelman left viewers unclear on whether Collins would accept a new mission next season. Executive director and co-writer John Hoberg said the plan is to keep a 3-season arc, and I am so thrilled to know that they're already filming Season 3. We need to pick right back up, okay?
And the plan also is to make sure we don't spoil
I won't spoil
anything,
it, but
Laura.
I did watch the finale last
I know
night.
you did.
It was so good.
I have not had a chance to watch Season 2 yet.
A lot of questions surrounding, will he be reunited with his wife? Will the wife be reunited with the children? Did she survive? It dabbles in a little bit of timelines. Yeah, so it really is a good finale.
Can't wait to watch it eventually. All right, so Celine Dion is making a return to the stage. She announced the dates for her comeback concerts in a video yesterday. She'll perform in Paris this fall. That is starting on September 12th with dates through October. Maybe you want to fly out to Paris to see it, but either way, it's just nice to see her performing again because she had to step back from being diagnosed with that rare neurological disorder.
Yeah, so many people were concerned about Celine Dion and if she would ever, get back to the stage. And so it really is great to see that she will be performing in Paris. Mm-hmm. Well, NBA action now on NBC tonight. The New York Knicks will be in Houston to take on the Rockets. Tip-off is scheduled for 8 p.m. You can watch that game on WRAL.
And just a reminder, hockey for the holidays returns this week ahead of Easter. The Canes are playing the Columbus Blue Jackets on Thursday, and then they're taking on the Islanders on Saturday. You can watch both games right here on WRAL starting at 7 p.m.
Just ahead on WRAL in the next 30 minutes, student cell phone use. Lawmakers will get an update on student cell phone use in North Carolina classrooms, what it could mean for your children.
And opening day, it is here over in Durham as new food, new merch, and more is set to be revealed tonight. What you need to know before you head to the DBAP.
And a stretch of 80s again, just in time for the homestand and taking us through much of the holiday weekend. But there's a cold front we're tracking on Easter Sunday. I'll show you the changes that brings and if that affects your Easter plans coming up in the next half hour of news.